ADC presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has sued President Bola Tinubu over an alleged forgery of a National Youth Service Corps certificate, that is, his discharge certificate. Atiku filed the suit at the Federal High Court in Abuja, seeking the court to disqualify Tinubu from contesting the 2027 presidential election. The suit comes amid renewed political attention on Tinubu's NYSC certificate and his eligibility to contest the next presidential poll. The allegations are contained in the legal action filed by Atiku, who is seeking judicial determination of the matter. To discuss this, we're joined by a public affairs analyst, Charles Oludare. Charles, thank you so much for coming around. So some argue that this challenge should have been mounted before the 2023 presidential election. What do you make of the current call for the president's disqualification over allegations of certificate forgery? Is it legally sound? Is it misplaced, or simply too late? Okay, I think we need to go on a break right now. When we return, we try to establish quality connection with Charles and pick up on this conversation. Just stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Now, talking about the call by Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for the current president to be disqualified from contesting in the 2027 general election due to allegations of a certificate forgery. I'm joined by public affairs analyst Charles Oludare. Charles, thank you so much for joining us. So I wanted to find out that particular call for the president's disqualification over certificate forgery. Do you think it is legally sound? Is it timely or too late?
It is not legally sound, and it is very funny. I, for one, I'm not someone supporting the president, right? But if you want to get him, there are other ways to get him. The Shina Peter sang a song that you should leave Ogbonna, we no draw, go and boil water to cook okra. This was litigated in 2003. It was litigated in 2023. What is making them believe that 2027 is going to be third time the charm? It is a dud matter. It is it is not even a viable matter. And Atiku trying to bring it up again after he had litigated it in 2023, I even believe is, I think it's called res judicata, right? It has already been litigated by a court of competent, competent jurisdiction. So I believe Tinubu's lawyers might even sue for it to be thrown out of the court. It makes absolutely no sense. It just shows. And that is why even I say I'm not supporting the president. I've said he's going to win because we don't have any viable opposition with the intellectual capacity to come up with what will really for the president. Coming up with the case of certificate of all the things that you can use to try and for the president just shows a lack of, a lot of intellectual base by the opposition. This is a dead matter. It is a dud. It has been used against the president. It did not work. They need to let it go and try something else that will work.
Okay, so let's even look at it constitutionally from the 1999 amended law. It disqualifies a candidate who presents a forged certificate to INEC. But when you look at the other side of it, which is the Electoral Act 2026, it's no longer expressly lists candidates, a qualification, or any matter of certificate forgery as a ground for challenging a person in an election. So is the problem now with this allegation against the president, whether or not the court has decided, or the fact that we have structural defects in our laws to tackle issues like this?
First off is that they cannot prove that the president does not have a certificate. The president does have a certificate. It is so, by the fact of the matter, I don't understand why there is even a clause in the first place, and this is my own personal opinion, whereby people are not allowed to contest if they have not gotten a certain level of education. It is the duty of the country to ensure that everybody within its bound is properly educated, so that it is from the people that you are going to pick your leaders. But you cannot be excluding people based on certificate. It makes absolutely no sense. But aside that personal opinion, the issue of certificates, Tinubu said that Abacha destroyed the certificate in the 90s, right? And when they went to the courts in America, the registrar of the university said, we did not issue this certificate in 1979. Had they issued that certificate in 1979, that would have meant that either Tinubu forged it or he lied about Abacha destroying his certificate. No, because the one that was issued in 1979 had been destroyed. That was why it was the ones that were issued based on in 2023, and whenever you go and request for that certificate, that is one that is valid. And talking about the NYSC certificate too is also a dot, because that has also been litigated. I feel like the genesis of this thing, and this is on a lighter note, traces back to a Mount Zion ministry movie where Gloria Bamiloye was, she did not follow the rule of God, and then her husband beat her up and burnt her certificate, and because of that she could not rise up again. She could not get another job, so she was married to Jesus and was preaching. That is what, at least from my own point of view, has created a mentality in our minds that if we don't have a paper, that it is the paper or the certificate that represents somebody's qualification, not even when the university has attested that you went to school. They are now talking about certificate in 1979. This is a dud case. They should look for more potent things. There are so many things going on in Nigeria that you can use to, attack President Tinubu.
Like
sweeping
what?
of a lot of corruption cases under the carpet is very potent.
Yeah, so what makes the claim or the allegations around corruption against this person more credible when someone decides, of course, to present a litigation against him?
Yeah, it will be credible if we are talking of this particular court case with regard to certificate. It will be credible if there is any form of fact in it. Tinubu did go to, what's it called, University of Chicago. Even I myself, I don't have a primary school certificate. The only secondary school certificate that I have was my WAEC result. Thank God during my time there was a picture that has been added to it because it was from 2024. People who graduated before then wouldn't have that. So all these things don't have there's no teeth to it. It won't bite. But there are so many things that has occurred since Tinubu got to power and now that you can properly prosecute and show Nigerians how Tinubu has not done enough to cushion the effect of the policies he made. You can show them the malpractice, the political malpractice of how he removed the subsidy and this unified the exchange rate, which are good policies, but he failed to care for the people and use that as a punching bag to fall him in the election. That is why you will see that a lot of the Tinubu's acolytes, when they go out in the lead of 2027, they will be asking the opposition, what other things do you want to do? And the opposition will not know what to say.
All right. Charles Oludare, thank you so much for your time on the news.
Thank you very much.